you what you wanna see and take you where you wanna be. You could be my luck.
Hi, this is Maria
Hey, and this is Joe Skoda.
with Maria and Joe Live TV.
How do you like that?
I love
It's
it.
about time. You know, I don't see you very often, but every time I see you, something new about you.
Oh, what is new about
Did
me?
you do something with your hair?
Oh, yes, that's actually
Oh, is that your tiara or your crown? What is it?
it's my crown. This was actually, you know what, I was talking about my dad. Actually, my dad actually gave me that crown before he left this world.
Really?
Yeah.
That must have been pretty special.
Yes, it's really
Yeah?
special.
Were you daddy's little girl?
Yes, I am. I am really actually. He lifted me up so many times. I would say that.
Okay.
He lifted me so much. That's the reason why I felt like I'm the
Your
daddy's.
favorite?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm the daddy's baby. So
Okay. So you're the youngest?
no, I'm not in the middle actually.
You're in the middle? So how
Yeah.
many girls are there?
We have like 5 girls and 1 boy.
Oh, that poor boy. that poor father,
Oh,
too.
don't worry because
Yeah.
that boy is my mom's favorite.
Oh, okay. So he got spoiled too in his own
Yes,
way.
of course.
And
Yeah.
you girls all had to fight on your own.
Yeah, of course, yes.
Do you fight over the crown or
I
just
have
yours?
I only have the crown.
You don't pass around
mean,
at Christmas every year?
No, I felt like I have the crown. Well, you know what? This is our week 4
This is the week we're going to talk a little bit about advice.
advices.
Talk
that has
about
been
some of
given.
the good advice we've received and some of the not so good advice we've received.
Yes, but you know what? Sometimes the good, the good advice actually will take you a long way, and the bad can also take you a long way. It depends how you actually receive it and put it into action.
You know, that's a good point because you can learn from either one.
Yes.
Just take it with a grain of salt and take what you can get out of the advice
Oh, that's
or recommendation and make
Yeah.
it work for you.
And that's a good, actually inspirational quote of the week.
Inspiration. There it is.
You came up just like that.
Take it or
love
leave it, baby. Take it or
I
leave
know.
it.
Well, viewers, we're back again on your TV or on your social media for this week, and we're gonna entertain you and empower you for the next hour.
You know why? Because of this network that sponsors our show.
Oh my.
You ever hear of social media shows?
Oh yeah, social media shows. Actually, they're running and flying.
They're running and flying because of two good-looking people that put it together.
And that's me, Joe.
Yeah, you're both people. Well, you're the crowd. That's true. That's true.
And you should say, and that's me too. That's
Well,
what I'm
that's
waiting.
me too.
Yeah, exactly.
I was just thinking as you're wearing that crown, I think the secret is you're trying to be as tall as me. Is that right?
Yeah.
You're
okay.
still about 2 foot short.
Oh, damn.
You know, sometimes when we get together and do a show like this, she sits on a taller chair than I do. We don't have that today, so should have put this on to be a little bit taller. Good advice, though. Good advice.
Yeah, and well, you know what? I have also a really good advice to our viewers.
Well, great. I'm sure they'd all love to hear it. I'd love to hear it too.
Laugh.
Laugh. Laugh. Humor, comedy goes a long way in the longevity
Yes.
and healthy life.
Yes, a healthy life. You know, if you laugh all the time, smile, even though you're kind of mad or kind of upset or you're not agreeing with the other party,
Yeah.
just try to smile like this. Sweetheart.
Sweetheart.
Do you know that my daughter always, whenever she hear me saying, sweetheart,
She runs.
yes,
She knows that one already. Oh, mom's mad about something.
yes.
Mom's mad about something.
She's like, oh, mom, can I see you later? I'm gonna go and, I'm just gonna go and see my friend. And
Go to the library to study?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, or yeah. Mom, I have a project. Let me go to the library. This kind of thing.
Sweetheart.
Yeah, sweetheart.
Darling.
Sweetheart. My employees at Budget Rental Car before,
Right.
when when I am talking to somebody and they hear me saying sweetheart, they already know.
They know too? They know
yeah,
your
they
secret?
know. Yeah, I remember one of my employee, that's Teresa, by the way. Teresa was like, she has a customer,
Sure.
and then she called me to take care of an issue. So I went
Oh.
in there, and my customer couldn't, there you cannot please everybody. You know
That's
what I mean?
true.
Yeah.
That's
so
true.
I was explaining
Good
to
advice.
him. Yeah. Yes, that's a good advice. So I was explaining.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I was giving them the best option possible to make this better for
Sure.
about the concern,
Sure.
and they didn't listen. So I said, "Well, sweetheart,"
It's all over.
and then Teresa actually like, so she kind of like went into the way and said, "Sir,"
Okay.
and she said to the customer, she said, "Sir, all right, so this is what she said. She's
Okay.
done."
It's all over.
Yeah, and the customer like, "I want to call her. I'll call her back." And she said,
Ooh.
"Sir, I think that's not a good idea."
It's not a good idea. Some of us don't get the signals right away.
Yeah, that's not a good idea. This is what she told you to do.
Sure.
You either do it or don't.
Do it or don't. That's
Yeah,
the end of the conversation.
Yeah, that's the end of conversation. She already tried all her resources and you didn't listen. So this is the best idea for you now.
Take it or leave it, in other words.
Yes,
Take it or leave it.
because there's no other way that can help you. Only this woman, and she already did her resources. Yes, I did.
So I think we're learning when you say sweetheart, not just to your family, but to everyone.
Yes,
We need to
that
be
is-
careful.
Yeah, that is the hint.
That's the hint, the
Yeah.
signal, the
Yeah,
key.
signal, yes. So
Okay.
here, sweetheart, I'm gonna give you a good advice, but if you don't listen, and I said,
Yeah.
sweetheart,
Sweetheart.
with a smile. Sweetheart,
Oh,
that's
that's
the
even
biatch.
scarier.
Yeah, that's a scary one.
Biatch.
Yeah, run away.
Oh, I knew when, well, obviously our parents would call us all by our,
Yes,
you know, I was Joey growing up, but Joseph Stephen Skoda, come right here. Like,
Oh!
well, to use your middle name or your full name, you gotta watch out.
Yeah, I heard that a lot to a lot of people.
Heard that a lot
yeah.
too?
But I never heard that from my parents, and I never heard that from my kids never heard that.
Okay.
Yeah, just
okay.
a sweetheart.
Just a sweetheart, that was enough.
Yeah.
I guess that's
So
easier.
see, I'm not a typical.
But what if, for instance, your daughter and her potential husband in the future says, "Hello, sweetheart."
Oh, I think that they are saying it, not me.
Okay, so she shouldn't be afraid.
Oh, what do you mean when I told them, "Hello, sweetheart"?
Well, that and if her husband calls her sweetheart.
I'm not exactly sure what you're going to.
Well, yeah,
If somebody else,
yeah,
if
calls
somebody
her,
else saying
calls
it,
your daughter, would she be nervous right away?
oh no, she's not.
So,
She's
just with
smart.
you? Okay.
Yeah, she's smart.
Okay.
She's only with me when she hears that sweetheart from my mouth.
So you're gonna have to one day give her the crown
Oh yes.
and pass it along, because she's so smart. She's on vacation right now, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, she's in Hawaii. But well,
Yeah,
let's get
yeah,
back to
that's
actually.
true.
Well, we're gonna actually go back into our few segments, and we're gonna be talking about.
We're going to be talking about a lot of the good comments, a lot of the good advice we've gotten throughout the years. Some that help make us, well, they all help make us what we are.
Yes.
But some that helped us get further ahead than some of the other advice.
Yes.
So we'll talk a little bit about that in the next few segments. And please feel free to comment, share this show with others, and give us some of your ideas, some of the good advice or bad advice that you have received throughout the years.
Yes, you can relate onto this one because everybody actually receive an advice either from their friends, their parents, their sisters, their siblings, or anybody. You always hear that sometimes a small
Yeah.
advice is something that can make you or break you.
That's true. And what about those times when people give us advice we're not asking for?
Yeah, those unsolicited advice.
Unsolicited advice or recommendations or comments. So be gentle on our Facebook page and social medias when you leave your comments.
Yes. Well, sometimes when
Constructive criticism.
Well, I like constructive criticism, but I don't want unsolicited advice. How's that?
Sounds fair to me. Sounds fair to me.
Because when you give me unsolicited advice, you probably hear that, sweetheart.
Moving right along here, we're going to talk more and more about that in the next few segments.
Yes.
And we're going to have a little bit of fun with this. So keep in your own mind some of those comments, some of the advice that you've had, and let us know what some of that is.
Yes, and we will be right back on the next few segments.
All right.
Don't go away.
Don't go away. Talk to you soon. Bye.
To feel up rich, instead I burned it down. Oh, I tried to lift him up, but found me beaten down to the ground. I was too weak to face my pain, caught up in the flood that was my rain. We both moved on, but my heart remains there.
Social media shows
It's about
A branding opportunity.
and outreach
We are an entertainment company that empowers others.
by promoting and supporting our community.
and everyone who reaches our content.
here on social media shows.
Here we're a family.
We are family. We are family. I got all my sisters with me. We are family. Get up, everybody, sing. We are family.
We are family.
We are family. We are family.
We are family.
We are family, and we want you to be part of our social media shows family.
Social media shows are looking for independent assigned artists to show off to the world for a brand new show. So if you have a video ready to show, email us right now at darkmusictelevision@gmail.com. The video must be a quality of MP4, and we are accepting all genres: R&B, hip hop, soul, blues, pop, country, rock, every and all types. So join us now and let us bring the world to you.
Take you where you wanna be. You could be my luck.
Hello, everyone. Once again, you are live with the Joe and Maria show. You like that better?
Yes.
Me too. We're talking a little bit about advice. Good advice, bad advice, solicited, unsolicited advice, recommendations. But we're going to focus more on some of the advice we received through our lifetime that was good, and some maybe we shouldn't have followed at all.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you know what? A good advices is, when I was talking earlier about bad advices can still actually help you in the future.
Sure.
And good advice, sometimes we can't actually determine the good and bad advice unless we utilize it.
Well, that's true. For instance, don't touch the hot stove. Don't touch that fire. Or don't eat too much candy. Well, what do you mean? I can eat all the candy I want, but later on you have a bellyache, or you get really sick,
Or you get burned.
or you get burned in the fire. Too many of us kids, at least us boys, we have to find out ourselves. You can tell us how many times we have to try out ourselves.
Yes, yeah. Well, that's out of curiosity, and
Yeah.
I kind of learned this in college that our brain actually there's a part that out of curiosity.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I believe I can call that it's the rebellion side.
The rebellious side. I think we all have that side
Yes,
somewhere.
with everybody. Like, oh, they told me not to do this. Why?
And then
You know what I
you do
mean?
it
Oh, let
more.
me do it.
Back to Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden.
Yeah.
He says, try this apple, Adam. The serpent said it's good for us.
Yeah, I think
And
it's
you
a
know what
normal.
happened
I
then?
think it's a normal thing, huh?
It's a normal
It's
thing.
a human thing, I think.
It is a human thing. They
Yeah.
say, don't do it, so we want to do it.
Yes.
Try this or don't try that. Or what about when they say, don't ask that girl out, she's not your type. Or don't ask like man out, he's not your type. And often our friends who's giving us that advice is because they want that person. So they tell us, don't go after them. They're not your type. And then behind your back, they'll ask them out.
That's a good point, Joe, because whenever somebody told me don't go out with that guy,
Yeah.
I always say, okay, you can go out with him.
Oh, so you know in advance. Okay. I see what you're
Okay,
playing.
why don't you go out with him? Right? Well, that is part of our third segment, which is unsolicited advice.
Unsolicited.
Yeah.
And sometimes we're not sure if we're soliciting it or not. For instance, if you're walking sexy down the street and maybe a lot
Is
of
that
cleavage.
solicitation?
Well, you might know. That's a different kind of solicitation. but you're walking a certain way, and I don't know, you might be going to the school to talk to the kids about something. And maybe someone's going to walk up to you and say, excuse me, sweetheart. Maybe you want to put a sweater on or put something else on before you want to. And you might be a fashion designer. These are your sexy clothes, and you want to talk, career day in the high school. But and there's a time and place for everything, but maybe you might be underdressed a little too much for the audience. So someone's going to come to you and say,
this is a good advice.
That's good advice?
This is a good advice that I would say about that is you have to be actually dress up in the right occasion.
Right occasion.
Yeah, so
Good
that is
occasion.
the good advice. Don't actually walk in into networking with white, like here in Vegas they have this white dress networking kind of thing.
Sure.
Don't go in there with a black dress. So, or you can actually go into a pool party, right? And then you actually dress up in your pajamas.
Well, that's true.
So you have to dress up in a proper attire and the right event.
That's very true. A lot of us want to stand out, look different.
Yeah.
Now, if you were going in, I don't know, dressed like that beautiful outfit you have on now to a networking event, and someone else had the same clothes on you do, how would that make you feel?
Oh, it happens to me.
Does it?
Yes, it happens to me. Well, I actually got this. I used to live in an island that only has about 20,000 people. We only have one Macy's in there, one Macy's and one Walmart. That's it. And normally we shop our clothes in the same
Sure. Stores.
store, and they only have few type of
Selection,
styles,
sure,
selections, right?
sure.
And so I was like, I've seen this dress. It's beautiful. It's actually blue. It's sparkly and everything.
Yeah.
We're gonna go into a event. So to make the story short, so I got this dress and then I got a scarf. that's beautiful actually compliment the dress.
Okay.
So I was so happy, like, oh my God, I feel so
You were strutting your
pretty.
stuff?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like so
Sure.
confident. And then on the other table, the same exactly clothes like me. And I'm like, I was with my ex-husband at that time.
Yes.
I told him like, I am running into the freaking car right now and drive home. and then and then we went to the dance floor.
Okay.
I didn't actually run away. And then we went to
Sure.
the dance floor. We actually dancing, and honestly, her dress is just a pure dress. Like he just dressed up without accessory. I have the beautiful scarf.
So it's different.
It's kind of different. So, but still, we are wearing the same dress and the same, and close to the table. If she's actually on the other side
Of
of
the
the
room,
room, it's okay. It wouldn't affect me. But then, but I still have to actually. I have that confidence, so I still have to hold
Strut
that
your
confidence.
stuff, yeah.
So I walked to her and said,
Nice dress.
I said, actually, we have the same taste, and we look both beautiful.
Ooh.
That's what I said.
That's a great
And
answer.
she was like, yes. So we have the same dress. The thing is, whatever you're wearing,
Yeah.
this is a good advice.
It's good advice.
Whatever you're wearing, and you see somebody else wearing the same thing, because she probably feel the same way as you
do.
feel. So
Sure.
instead of you actually throwing tantrums about that situation, go and walk to them and say, uplift them, like how you want to uplift
Turn
yourself.
a negative experience
And
into
it
something
wasn't-
good.
Yes. Well, I have
I love
another
that.
story.
Yeah?
This is a good one.
Okay.
So we went into this where I met Andrew, our Memorial Day.
Okay, right.
So this is really, really good. And I never ever thought that it's gonna happen in my life because I seen this on TV.
Okay.
Okay, so I have my very nice dress. It's a black and white dress. The white dress, and then the black is the design all over. It's like kind of like crocheted.
Okay.
So it's a
okay.
dress. It's beautiful. I am showing my cleavage and it's beautiful. It's floppy.
Like I am right now.
Yeah, it's floppy and it's beautiful, and I felt so good, right? I always feel good when I'm wearing my dress and my 6 inches high heels. So I walk in, sit down on the table. All of a sudden I said, OMG, oh my God, the actually cover of the table is the same exactly design as my clothes.
The tablecloth?
Oh my God! So everybody is taking picture of me and the table. I said, don't take picture of my face, just the table and my dress, please. Just like everybody, like they're so like, oh my God! And I was like, oh, you know what that means? Actually, my taste have whoever designed that place is actually at Heartland Mansion.
Oh.
It's a high-end, yes.
High end, okay.
So I'm like,
And they want to take after you, your example. Wow.
See, I'm like,
Wow.
you know what? Oh my God, my taste actually is the same taste as the designer of that freaking event.
Wow.
So I felt so good afterward. I'm like, oh, yes.
Yes.
I have the same clothes as the actually table cover.
There you go. That's a lot to be proud of.
Oh yeah, of course, definitely. And
Yeah.
JC was laughing. He still has my picture, I promise you.
Is that right? I'd love to see that one. I hear a lot of people, and especially at weddings, the girls are the bridesmaids.
Yes.
Obviously, the bride's going to be in white, hopefully, and the bridesmaids or everyone else a different, colored dress. But they always say, don't look better than the bride. Try not to look as good, or
Good.
especially
Yeah,
better
yeah,
than
I
the
heard
bride.
that.
Even if you are more beautiful, that's
Oh,
not
yeah,
the
that's-
point.
yeah.
You have
You
to
have to-
dress down.
I think I disagree with that.
Really?
Yeah, I totally disagree with that.
Because that's advice I hear. I think it's good advice to give the spotlight to the bride.
Yeah, I know. Well, she already had the spotlight. She's in the middle and everything. But honestly, I think I wouldn't take that as a good advice, because if they give me that advice, I promise you,
Yes.
I'm not gonna actually go with it. I am gonna be dressed up the way I wanna actually portray myself. Because you know what? Don't tell me something that you're trying to tell me don't change yourself on this occasion. No, I'm not gonna change myself for this
Yeah.
occasion.
But you told me to change my shirt earlier.
Oh, it's not because of that. Because it's because they couldn't see you on the screen. You're disappearing.
Well, sometimes that's a good thing.
Oh, you wanna?
Sometimes that's a good thing. So you're saying, I don't care who you are, I'll respect you at your wedding, but hey, I want to look good regardless of where we are. I still want to look my best. I guess that's good advice, but I think you need to talk that with the bride ahead of time.
Yeah. Well, that's a good advice.
That's a good advice.
That's a good advice too. Yeah.
But it's only good advice if they accept it as good.
Yeah, well, yes.
Right,
It can
because
be a
it's our
bad
own
advice
opinion.
too. Because if you are going to talk to the bride and say, hey,
Yeah.
you know what? I just want to inform you that I'm gonna be looking so beautiful on your. I think that's a bad thing.
It's a bad thing.
But is she probably like, oh, you're not coming to my wedding?
She might like, in fact, I might wear my old wedding dress. Why not? Now, why do men always wear typical black suit, black tuxedo, white shirt, and a black bow tie?
Why? I think
We don't complain. It's how we all look.
Well, every
Right?
man on the wedding looks the same thing as me. As
It's a
every-
tablecloth.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
my big problem when I go to a wedding.
Yes.
When they wear the same like tie,
Monkey suit, we like to call
suit
them.
and everything all black, and I don't know who is actually
Who's your date for the evening?
no
Not good.
who is the groom. I don't realize who is the groom. I remember last 2016 I went to my cousin's wedding. Hi Ruth.
Hi, everyone.
And I believe he has a brother, Daniel and Jamie actually.
Okay.
And then I thought Jamie is Daniel and Daniel is the groom because they wear the same clothes. So I think on men,
Yeah.
I would advise that they
Yes.
should change this. Okay, if the groom is wearing black, they should be actually wearing gray.
Possibly,
That way I can tell I might be kissing.
Might be kissing the groom. We're not supposed to be.
Exactly. So yeah, I can get confused on that. So please.
I can see that. Sometimes they have a different tint to their shirt or their ties
Oh,
different.
when
But
you're drunk
sometimes-
in a wedding, you don't know that.
Okay, good point. Don't invite people drunk to your wedding. That's a good advice. That's
Oh
good
yeah,
advice.
oh that's a good advice too. Well, you know what? Let's talk
Yeah.
about our childhood from our
Sure.
parents. I would like to talk about that. What advices have you actually gotten from your dad? I know I'm sorry that you
No,
lost your dad
that's okay,
already.
right.
But I would like to know what actually advice that stick with you up to this day.
You know, I had some great parents. I lost my mom at the age, she was 37, I was 17. Way too young to lose your mom due to cancer. And later on, my dad died at the age of 61. He retired from General Motors on Friday and died on a Saturday. And that was rough. I mean, he had cancer, was battling it, but he was okay. It was still a surprise he died so fast. But years before he passed away,
It's God's will.
it is God's will, and I'm thankful I had two wonderful parents. I remember when I first got married, probably late 80s or something, and I don't know if I was having marital problems or not, but I needed some advice, some fatherly advice. And men never go to their dad about anything, or their mom. We rarely do, at least in my family. We didn't go to our parents for any advice. But I don't know, I just wanted some advice. Hey, Dad, I'm having a problem in this area or this situation. I don't remember what it was about. It doesn't matter. He's like, well, look, son, we all have problems. I'm sure you're going to be just fine, and you'll be okay in the long run. We all have problems. I'm sure you're going to be just fine, and you'll work it out. He said, and you'll work it out. And that was it. And I wanted more, but the less he gave me, the better, because he taught me, first of all, thinking for myself, work it out with my spouse. You know, we need to focus on the relationship here,
Yes.
not everybody else's advice or recommendations.
Yes.
And too many of us let our siblings get in the way, or our friends get in the way of our relationships. And I don't know why we do that, but my dad says, son, we all have problems. I'm sure you're going to work it out. Everything's going to be just fine. And it did. It all worked itself out. I mean, we got divorced later on, but at that moment, it was the best advice and the same advice I'm going to give to my own children. We all going to have problems, and you can work it out.
Yeah, you know what, Joe, is that's a really good advice. I would say that because he said you will be just fine.
You will be just fine.
It's totally different if he said, you know what, we have all problems, leave me alone.
That's
You see
true.
what I'm saying?
That's true.
Yeah, because that means he doesn't care anything about it. But he actually added, you will be just fine.
you will be
So
just
that means
fine.
he cares. He gave you a solution that you have to figure out yourself.
Yes.
And he actually give you an advice saying that you will be fine, meaning he cares for you.
Absolutely, cared to the end. That's true. But when you're young, I was already early 20s then, but especially when I'm a teenager, that's not enough. You want more. You want them to hold your hand without telling them, but you want them to hold your hand and guide you every step of your trials and tribulations in this world. When things are good, you don't talk to mom and dad. But when things are bad, help me out. And basically, it will be all right. You'll work it out. It will be all right. That's true.
That's true. Yeah, that's very, very true. You know what? I had the best advice that I'm still actually utilizing up to now.
Okay.
From my mom. The advice that I got from my mom was when I was actually 16-year-old, I think, or 15, about that teenager.
Sure.
She told me that you have to go to school. You have to finish school. Make sure that you're gonna actually have your degree,
Sure.
which is every Filipino family parents actually wanted their kids. Education is number one in the Philippines.
Sure.
And then she told me that, or
Yeah.
don't do anything, and then you're not gonna be. No, this is how exactly she said. She's like, if you're gonna do really good at school and you finish all your college,
Yeah.
you're gonna be actually in a blue collar.
A blue collar worker or white collar worker. There's a difference.
White collar.
White
is
collar's management. Blue is
yeah.
usually
White collar. Yeah. So she told me you're gonna be having a white collar job.
if you finish your degree.
Yes.
Yes.
So that actually stick in my head.
In most cases, yeah.
And I said, I'm gonna finish this school no matter what actually come my way. And I finished I got a double degree
Yeah.
in 2015. And
Okay.
yes, I have a white collar job.
There you go.
See what I'm saying? So like what I said, I'm still having that advice up to now and probably all my life.
That's great advice. For instance, I did 21 years in the Air Force,
Mm-hmm.
and I started off as a blue collar worker, as we call enlisted, and got my degree, and later on became a commissioned
collar.
officer and white collar. And my son is in the Air Force now, dreamt of being an officer and go to school, but he never finished. But he joined anyways, which is great. I'm not putting anyone down. I'm thankful he's serving our country. But he's like, darn, I should have stayed in school. I should have stayed in school.
Yes.
First, I'd be making more money, more respect, more.
Uh-huh.
It's not necessarily the money, but gives you more options.
Yes, exactly. Yes,
Gives you more
exactly.
options.
You know, I hear a lot about other people that, you know what, I don't need education to be better or to get higher. Yeah, well, that's a better job. Well, sometimes that works well. It depends, but the thing is, when you have education,
Yeah.
you have more options to actually look at. You're not actually just be on one thing. You know what I mean?
Sure.
You just don't have one option. You have more options open for you.
That's true. And education doesn't always have to be formal.
Yeah.
You can learn a trade. You can be a welder.
That's
you
a good
can be
advice.
an accountant. You can learn how to be a mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
And the world needs mechanics and welders
Yes,
and,
anything.
and carpenters.
Yeah.
So that is trained. That is
Yes,
skill.
yes.
And pays you really well if you know what
yes,
you're doing.
exactly. Yeah. As long as the main thing is you are satisfied with what you actually doing. You have
Sure.
that passion.
Have that
That's the
passion.
main thing. That's a good advice. You have passion. You're happy of what you're doing. Sometimes it doesn't really matter what is the what is the equal dollar.
Right. We don't. If you stop chasing the dollar, but chase your passion,
Yes.
the dollars will follow
Fine.
later.
Exactly.
The dollars will follow
That's a
later.
good advice too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. Too many of us chase the dollar. We have to pay our bills.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course we do, but we don't have to all have flat screen TVs.
Yeah.
Or at least not 80-inch TVs. It could be 40 inches, and we don't all need the latest iPhone or latest Apple computer, whatever it is. We can live with what we have for a few more years.
Exactly,
If we
yeah.
learn how to humble ourselves or live within our means, we can even have more success than we ever thought we could before.
Exactly.
And you can learn that from
Stop
any
worrying.
rich man.
Yeah, stop worrying things that you cannot control.
Don't worry about things you cannot control. Another
Yeah.
good advice.
Yeah, that's a good advice.
Can't control it, and
Let it go.
being a strong Christian, put it on God's shoulders and trust and have faith to be taken care of.
Oh.
We still have to do our part. We still have to do our part, but realize if we don't have control, we don't have control. But just get rid of that stress in your lives. That will kill you.
Yes, exactly. Yes. I
Get
know
rid of
that.
the
Yeah.
stress.
Well, that's a good, those are good tips for good advices and bad advices.
Are you
actually.
writing this down? I need to remember some of this stuff when the time's important.
But you know what? Make sure you actually have your priority. That's a really good advice.
Priority
Priority actually matters, even though sometimes we actually don't learn much about it. We don't actually utilize. That's what the word. Utilize it like we actually run as it goes. Sometimes it doesn't work that way. You have to prioritize things.
That's true. A lot of things, being in business like I am, they always say, plan your work and then work your plan. Work that plan. Write down all you want to, but then continue to work it, and success will follow. Don't wait till it's too late. Don't put that advice in the back somewhere and recall it when you need it. Utilize it as soon as possible.
Yes. Put it into action.
Put it into action.
Ideas doesn't worth anything unless you put it into action.
And you won't have a crown if you don't put it into action. All right, we're going to get with you on the next segment. We're going to continue on with this show and talking more about good and bad advice, and we'll come up with some more pointers. But again, feel free to leave comments and suggestions and good advice on our social media and our Facebook page. We appreciate you.
And also, don't forget to subscribe on our YouTube and visit our website. It's already up and running. www.socialmediashows.us, and you will see all our shows in there. And also, we have community pages out there that they can contribute. Yes.
That's right. We're working a lot of things in the community right now with different charities, and we'll talk more about that on future episodes. So stay tuned, and we'll get back with you here in a few minutes. Bye.
Take you where you wanna be. You could be my luck. Even if the sky is falling down, I know that we'll be safe and
Shut up and sit down.
forget to watch Easy and his frenemies.
Unhinged Insanity.
Every week
On Facebook,
Instagram,
YouTube,
Periscope,
and Twitter.
socialmediashows.com.
Geezy and Frenemies.
So see you there.
E.T. phone home.
Kiss,
Kiss, kiss. I love you. Love you, dear.
Oh, kiss, kiss. Okay, I'm going over there now.
Live streaming on social media is the best new way to interact and bond with your community. Do you love to encourage, motivate, and empower others, but you do not know how? Well, your opportunity starts with us on social media shows. We have 20 shows a week live streamed across the globe, with a reach of over 80,000 and growing. So you can host your own show, and you can be anything you want to be. So let's bring the community together, and let's bring the world to you. Join us now.
Welcome back to Maria and Joe Live TV, and this is Maria.
Hey, and this is the good-looking Joe, if you didn't already know that already. It's funny, we were talking about something during the break, and I don't know if it's good advice or not, just a funny comment. I think she was joking like, I know everything or you don't know everything. I says, well, I know more than you. And what did you say?
Because you are way older than me.
Is that advice or that's just stupid criticism nobody wants to hear?
It's constructive criticism.
We call that unsolicited advice. I wasn't asking for that.
Constructive. It's constructive.
Smart ass.
Where we're gonna be talking about constructive criticism and unsolicited criticism, advice.
It could be the same way. Depends how we receive it.
Exactly.
Or how we
Yeah,
take.
that's
Sometimes we give advice to people, expecting them to take it the right
like
way.
when you gave me advice.
Yeah, you sure you're
That's
not older than me?
unsolicited.
But it's always in the eye of the beholder what they think. And unfortunately, in our society today, everyone's sensitive about everything. You can tell them, hey, you look good today. They can be offended by it. And it's horrible. I know that, for example.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes they are like a lot of my coworkers. They're like, you know what? I don't want to say anything about it because I don't want to get, I don't want to get suspended or something. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Called out.
I said, if you're talking to me, don't worry about it. I'm not gonna go and report you because of some kind of joke that we're having fun with. Come on.
Yeah, that's sad. I mean, for hundreds, maybe thousands of years, we all joke and kid with one another. Usually respectful. And if you don't like what I'm saying about whatever, you're just going to tell me, hey, I don't want to hear it.
Yeah,
then I just stop it.
Yeah.
Or if I don't, then I'm.
You can just say, hey, TMI, and then walk away. Don't
away.
I have a friend, actually, I have a friend, I'm not going to name him.
Okay.
I have a friend just actually got...
suspended?
No, I'm glad he didn't get suspended because he is a really good joker. He just joked, and it's not really offensive. It's more of a funny thing. And this other girl actually reported him. And he was like, what did I say wrong? And then the human resources said, you said this and this and that. I said, and then he said, like, that's not what I exactly mean.
That's what he meant. And he didn't even know what he said wrong.
Yes. So anyways, like what you were saying earlier, if you don't want what you hear, you stop it right there and then. You don't actually go behind the back of your friend. And what is your main point of doing that?
It's stupid. And then you can't have fun in your workplace. You can't have fun at home. You can't socialize. You're afraid to say anything.
Yes, exactly.
Anything. The sky is blue. Someone might say, no, it's gray. How dare you say it's blue? I'm having a bad day. Are you kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me, people?
Yeah.
Kind of get over it.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's go back to having fun and respectful.
Yes, respectful and having fun. Well, it's totally different when you actually, when you tell me or I tell you, I'm like, oh, go undress.
Yeah.
And you get that is offensive. But if I said, you know what, I seen this girl being dancing with her tits, I think that's not offensive. He is actually telling you a story that probably help you or not, and you can say, you know what, I'm a woman, I don't want to hear about it. It's okay. That's actually respectful.
That's okay. But also, if it's a dozen guys there and then one woman walks in and offended, and just guy talk.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, then
not,
just walk away.
Just walk away. Say, then the guys can't be guys, the girls can't be girls.
Yeah.
And when you're all together, you talk differently than when you're separate.
Exactly.
Come on, people.
Yeah. Well, this is also actually a really good advice too. Is just interact with people that you actually have a really good rapport with.
Sure.
Yeah, because you know what, especially if you are in a group of people who actually are very like robots.
Robots?
Yeah, don't stay away from saying things that can offend them. You have to also very, very careful of the people surrounding you before you actually open your mouth.
That's a good point. And another point is, you might love your boss, but it's not always a good idea to be so friendly.
Oh, yeah.
Because bosses have to make decisions. And they might make a decision that affects you, even though you can be buddy-buddy, but don't make it hard on your boss to do his job.
Yes.
You can all go bowling, have a couple drinks, but it shouldn't be on a regular basis.
I think having drink with boss is not a really good idea.
Yeah, it's usually not a good idea. Obviously, you're going to have your
unsolicited
social
advice.
time that you have to from time to time.
Constructive or unsolicited.
Exactly. But that's a good point. And we get that in the military. We could be working together one day, and the next day you're promoted, and you're my boss. So we've been buddies for a year or
Yeah.
two, but the next thing, now you're my supervisor. And
And it's
that's
hard
a tough
to
one.
yeah, it's hard when you are when you are really buddy with a friend with a coworker, and then one got promoted. It's that friend is gonna have a really hard time to give you a constructive or unsolicited advice,
Right.
because he's now a boss, and your friend is
Yeah.
gonna affect this and that. So being really on the management position is make sure you understand how to separate your friendship when you are working, because it's really hard. I see by saying even though I'm saying this, let me the reality is, let me tell you, the
Sure.
reality is at a lot of jobs at workplaces, even though they're boss, they favor all these people no matter what. They don't give constructive criticism no matter what, because of
They're
that.
afraid.
Yeah, they're afraid of losing everything. And plus, if you're buddy with everything, they know every single thing that you did at work. So make sure you don't open your mouth even how close to that person. That's a good advice.
That's really true, really true. If you want to get promoted, make more money in your life, zip it.
Yeah, zip it.
And
Don't
stay
say
away from
anything.
people. It can start
Yes.
trouble.
Yes, and it's not only at workplaces. It's with friendship too. Okay,
Sure.
outside workplace, don't give unsolicited story to your friend. That way, they don't give you unsolicited advice.
Sure, almost like gossiping in the background of somebody. That causes more pain than anything else.
Yes.
And another thing I want to bring up, don't be too friendly with someone's spouse.
Oh, yeah.
I don't care if you guys are best friends in high school and grew up in college. Once you guys marry or pair off, you have to limit that. You just have. This is not Friends, which is a reality show on TV or whatever it was. This is real life. You all be, if you're married to someone or I'm with someone, we can be the best of friends, but we have to minimize that relationship, not to cause problems in our current relationship.
Yeah, that's a good point, Joe, because I just had a situation about this, what you're just talking about. I met this woman.
Yeah.
She became my friend.
Okay.
And then she brought me home.
Okay.
And then I became the husband's friend.
Okay.
And now both of them are my friends. All right, both of
Okay.
them. And she actually, my girlfriend actually build me up to the husband as a good person, blah 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 blah. This is this person is, I love this person. This, so she built me up well, because the actually husband
Yeah.
doesn't have friends. She doesn't want just no. He has friends, but he's the kind of person that he is picky like me, picky to who is gonna be friend with.
That's okay.
Yeah, that's good, right?
That's good.
So I kind of, although they really trusted me 100%,
Sure.
I'm still kind of back up, because I am, if they are very trustworthy to other people. That's easy. There is something in there. So what too fast that I'm not even trusting them and they're trusting me, which is pretty cool, all right? Because I'm trustworthy. I look like one, inside and out. And then anyway, to make this story short,
Sure.
I become their venting person.
Oh, okay.
So they start fighting, not because of me. They start fighting, and then both of them come to me. Like, I spend the whole day talking to, like, back and forth with them.
No.
And all I do is giving them advice. Why don't you talk to her? Why don't you talk to him? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Why? So I keep on doing that for probably about 2 weeks. Straight.
You're the therapist.
Yeah, I'm the... Anyways,
or the
and
middleman.
I don't want to be in that situation, honestly. That's why I keep on telling them, talk to her, because I don't want to be that therapist.
Of course.
And then,
You want to be a friend.
yeah, just a friend. And so that's for 2 weeks straight, like every single day.
Wow.
So I know exactly what's happening inside and out on that house, even though I'm not in there. And I don't want that. I just want to cut them off and say, but they just keep on going. So along the way, I stopped texting back and forth. Like, I text them once a day. I'm sorry, I'm doing this, blah, blah, blah.
Sure.
And then eventually, So they do that like every other week, every 2 weeks, or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, that they keep on doing
Slow
that.
down.
Yeah, and they slow down after a while because they kind of maybe feel it. So, anyways, and then eventually
Yeah.
they fight and they come back to me.
No.
Right? They come back to me. They fight really, really bad, and they did something wrong to me actually before this last one happened. So I'm already tired with them. I'm already totally like I don't wanna deal with them anymore. So what I did is,
Yes. What'd you do?
I did a really good advice. Bad advice.
Bad advice?
It's bad.
Okay. What'd you do?
I said, you know what? You guys have to divorce each other. You guys don't belong to each other.
Yeah.
You fight every single day. You guys go to other people to actually instead of taking care inside your house,
Yeah.
you are, and then they also go to therapy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but then they still come to me.
Wasn't enough.
Yeah, wasn't enough. So I told them,
Yeah.
this relationship won't mend anymore. So I told
Okay.
all of them.
You
to-
gave them unsolicited
Unsol-
advice?
no,
or
well,
did they ask for it?
They asked for it.
Okay, okay.
So I told them that, and you know what happened? All of a sudden,
They got
the
close
husband.
together.
No, the husband
The vo-
kicked out the wife.
Really?
Said, "You're out in this house." Right after I said it, and I'm like, I didn't really mean that. It's really bad advice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, well, what happened was
Yes.
I gave the same advice to both of them, right?
Okay.
But then the husband actually kicked the
Acted
wife
first.
out. And then what happened was, and then all of a sudden, and I know that this is gonna happen this way. I already know what happened. They get back together, and then the husband showed the wife what I texted him.
Oh, you did that by text?
Yes.
Oh.
So what happened is I'm the bad person, and let me tell you this: I'm the bad person. I'm free of that drama.
It's one way to get rid of that drama.
I am good. You know what? You're nobody to me before I met you both. So, it doesn't really matter to me. I'm really sorry I'm cold-hearted that way, but you have to be very, very careful to who you actually tell what's
Right.
happening inside your house.
Yeah, don't bring people into your business.
Business-
That's your business. And keep it off of social media. What's wrong with you people? What's
yeah.
wrong with all of us?
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah, so see, that is, like what I said, I am very cold-hearted that way, but I tried. It's not like I didn't try my best to actually get away from that situation.
Sure.
But as long as I'm friends with these people, it's not gonna stop.
That's probably true.
Because I already told them I don't want to hear about it too.
Okay.
But they still come to me. So there's no way that I can actually go around it.
You knew too much information by then, too.
Yes, I don't want that. I don't
Yeah.
want the information. That's why I cut it off that way.
Yeah.
And even though I am the bad person around people around them, I really don't give up.
Don't care too much. More peace, less drama.
Less drama. Yes.
Good advice.
Yeah.
Less peace, more drama.
Yeah.
Get rid of the drama in your life. Get rid of the stress. Get rid of the negative people. Toxic people.
Yes.
Sometimes your own family members, it's hard, but limit the time you spend around them. And you don't have to let anyone bring you down. You should wake up with a smile every day.
Every day, yeah.
You should go to bed with a smile every
Yeah.
day.
And you know what? When you call your friends,
Yeah.
call your friends with a positive thing.
Positive.
Don't call your friends saying, "Hey, you know what? I don't have anything to eat today." Or, "Hey, you know what? I broke up with my boyfriend today." Oh my! Especially when you said that many times already. Don't do that.
Good point. Good point. I want to hear that it's a beautiful day. The kids are doing
Yeah.
good in school. You got out of therapy. I don't care. Something positive.
Yeah.
Look at the flowers in the garden.
Oh, this is a good one.
Yeah,
Remember,
flowers.
I told one of our team, I said, if you actually bring in a negative thing, come up with positive right away.
Right away.
Yeah, don't come up with negative because I'm gonna actually block your number. But
That's right. Negative affects all of us.
yeah, exactly. But if you come with like, hey, you know what? I broke up with my boyfriend, but I find another one. Yes.
All right.
Or doing it after all the pains and sorrows that I've been through, or
Sure.
through the months.
Sure.
What I learned, what I used to do is I wake up in the morning, pray and say thank you God for
Thank you,
waking me
God.
up today, and then one day I was walking into the elevator.
Okay.
And then I see my coworker at work and I said, "How are you today?" And then he said, "I am so happy that I'm alive above ground."
Above ground, this side of the ground.
Yes. So I was like, it's kind of like, see, stick in my
Sticking in mind.
in my mind. So since then, I'm kind of like, what am I doing? Why I worry a lot of things in this
Why are
life.
we worried?
Yeah. So since then, I went back to my daily routine in the morning.
Okay.
I pray and said, God, thank you for this very blessed day.
Thank you for this blessed day.
Yeah. And you know what? Whatever happens today, it's your will.
It's your will.
Yeah. Just lead me the way.
You know, that's a good point. A lot of us complain we're fat. Well, exercise and eat better.
You're fat.
Right. So what? People complain about their job. Well, learn a new skill, get another job.
But
People
you look
complain
good.
about their relationships. Well, find another one. I mean, come on. There's a solution to almost everything.
Yeah. You don't have a job. Why don't you find one?
Go find one.
Or find Joe.
We all have a talent. God gave us all a talent. It might be talking, it might be singing, it might be doing masonry work. We all have a talent. Maybe just childcare.
That's a good
God
advice.
gave each and every one of us a talent, a skill. Now we have to sometimes figure out what it is or develop it, but we all are born with something. And we've all had bad times in our lives. And most of us overcome them and maybe have another bad time. But we can still continue to get up every day. We get knocked down 7 times, you get up 8.
Yes.
You get up 8 and keep going.
Keep going.
Come on, people.
Yeah.
You know, me and Maria only met just like over a year ago. And our lives are so different.
Yeah.
Our lives are so different.
Yeah, we used to fight.
We used to fight, exactly. We
We
probably
like-
married
we like-
a past life or something.
Yeah, we used to actually wear boxing gloves.
We had to just to be this close together. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Someone
yeah.
had to call ahead of
And
time. Listen, we're be in the same room together.
I actually went. And this is a revelation.
Yeah.
On the last fight on the mile shop.
Okay.
The next day,
Yeah.
I said, I'm cutting off.
There you go.
Yeah, it's done. And then I believe it's after a week.
It's at
when I
least a
called you.
week.
Yeah.
A week without talking. Ooh.
Yeah. And then after that, I'm like, I kind of realized, you know what, Joe is not really a bad person. Joe is not a bad person. He is there no matter what part of my life. You are there good or bad times. He always there. And I kind of like, it's kind of like a moment where I'm kind of like, like thinking, is it worth it for him to let it go or not? What is, I am the kind of person that put everything in written together. I said, what the good thing, bad things, good thing, bad things, good things. So whoever actually have the most,
Sure.
I go with that. This not necessarily all the time, but
Understand.
I still have to actually evaluate everything.
Well, sure.
before-
And it's okay to take a break.
Yes.
In the future, you might collaborate or work together, be
Yes.
friends again.
Yes. So well,
Even with your exes?
the lesson that I learned from that is I actually shouldn't text, because the text actually was the proof.
Yes, we're all guilty of that sometimes.
Yeah, so-
and we misinterpret a lot of things through text also.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, I think if that happened, I could have just actually moved away instead of doing something like that. It's we do.
We live and learn.
Yeah.
We try to.
Yeah.
what do they say? Try to forgive one another?
Yes, yes.
But we have to forgive ourselves and ask
yes.
God to forgive us, and then we can effectively forgive other people. But
Yes.
let's continue to work on that.
Yes, yeah, of course we do. And we learn every single day. That's a good advice.
Every single day.
And that's unsolicited, but I'm still giving you anyway.
I know you will. I know you will. And on that note, we're going to take a break right now and get back to you in our next segment where we're going to talk about not just our personal advice, but maybe leaders and other people in the world we look up to. So just stand by. We're going to get back with you here shortly. And keep those comments coming in and your suggestions and what's working in your life and what's not. Well, this is Maria and Joe. We'll be back with you. See ya.
Take you where you wanna be. You could be my luck. Even if the sky is falling down, I know that we'll be safe and sound. I can feel your
We are standing, willing and able, for God's permission to move. We are standing, willing and able, waiting on God's permission.
We've reached the age of live streaming on social media shows. You may ask, we're already ahead of the curve, so why do you need to advertise with us? Well, only 8% of the businesses in the US are using digital advertising to grow their business. That's 2 percentage points short of reaching critical mass, which will lead to faster results. We have 20 plus shows with a reach of over 80,000. We'll give you commercial ads, website link, and connections to nonprofit organizations. So get your brand ready for digital monetization, for we are looking for sponsors, which will bring more traffic to your business and ultimately mean more sales. So let's bring the world to you. Inquire.
My name is JC, and I'm a devout follower of Jesus Christ.
My name is Dolores, and I'm an ordained chaplain.
We are here to inspire you with the good news.
Every Monday at 5 o'clock p.m. on socialmediashows.com. Good news is about inspiring you through Jesus Christ.
Join us and let us bring the world to you.
John is an employee at one of the most famous firms in the city of New York, so his job is very hectic, and he realized that it is necessary for him to go and finally take a vacation. But he went on a vacation without planning out the details, and wasn't able to truly enjoy where he went because he had to think about so many things that he didn't plan for. Instead of enjoying his time away from work, he came back with more stress that he was not able to take full advantage of his vacation. But this year, a coworker suggested him to try World Ventures this time to make his vacationing more enjoyable and less stressful. They do not require you to plan anything outside of your transportation, which is also available at discounted rates. Your stay, your transport, and many meals are planned by the club. John liked the idea very much. He tries World Ventures, and his experience with the club was amazing, as he made many friends there with whom he had a great time. John recommends that everyone should try this club, as they are the best in business. See how the VIP-vacation-club.com can give you the right experience without all the hassle. Enjoy the VIP experience.
Hi, this is Maria.
Hey, this is Joe.
Oh, Maria and Joe.
There it is, Joe and Maria live.
No,
We're
Maria
semi-live.
and Joe.
Which one's Maria?
It's Maria and Joe, not Joe and
I know I was going to talk to you about that. Well, anyways, we'll talk about that some other time. And that's good advice. That's good advice. Sometimes we don't need to talk about everything publicly. We don't need to talk in front of a camera when we're having a private conversation. We don't need to have a lot of people around us if we're trying to work out details of our business or anything else.
Yep.
But sometimes we have leaders in the world who can't even go to the bathroom without the whole media knowing what's going on. And that's sad. It's hard for anyone to step up into any leadership position because you can't fart in public without a big article written up. Oh my God, he didn't care.
I do fart in the public.
Oh yes, she does. She does. And, all the time.
You never even hear me fart.
Oh, I can smell it a mile away.
Are you kidding me? I actually fart with a rose smell.
Rose smell. Is this something we want to talk in front of the camera? Your rose smell farts? Oh
Yes.
my goodness.
TMI. See, that's one of the unsolicited.
Unsolicited things. And a lot of us do that. Why do we do that? We want to broadcast our whole lives on the air.
The thing is, do you believe everything that we broadcast? Every time you hear something?
I don't believe everything I say sometimes. It depends. We wake up in good mood, bad mood. Sometimes we say things we don't always mean. And we cannot believe everything.
I don't believe
written
whatever
down.
you say anyway. So
I know. I get that a lot from you. I just want to talk briefly about our president, President Donald Trump. Recently, he flew to Singapore to meet with the North Korean president, Kim Jong-il. Or Il, I'm sorry, I don't mean to mispronounce her name. And they signed a lot of documents, had a lot of conversations, but they agreed, at least generally, and written down, to get rid of the nuclear weapons on the Korean Peninsula. As well as North Korea also agreed to look up any missing remains of veterans who fought during the war. He agreed to open that up, the investigation. He agreed to work with South Korea and the rest of the world and kind of bringing peace, or at least more safety to all of us and less uncertainty. At least they all signed the agreement that they're going to do that. And God willing, it's true, and the world will be a safer place. And in the future, we can work with North Korea and South Korea and everyone else in the world. But obviously, regardless of Donald Trump does something good, he released someone from prison recently for something after, I think, 20 years. He's releasing other people, different documents, and changing things around. And even brought more jobs to our economy than we've had the last dozen years or so. It never seems to be enough. And it seems like when you're in the public eye, it's never enough. Or what's in it for me? Okay, you got a job, but what about my pay raise? It's never enough because we want more. Now, we think he's doing good things. Most of us think he's doing good things in the world and making us safer, trying to limit the people coming across the border, trying to make it safer, trying to vet everyone and let less or allow less and less immigrants to come in, at least at one time, and go through a proper vetting process. But we have other leaders in the world who make decisions, our Congress and senators, for instance, the people we elect. And are they taking the advice that you and I give them, or are they just doing their own thing? What do you think about that?
I don't know. We're talking about election. Election just came out yesterday.
Oh,
today.
You had election today in Las Vegas. We had one in California last week. But just generally about leadership, because we have a lot of people, our mayors or senators, regardless of who recently got elected, I believe they plan to do good things. They plan to have a good name for themselves. But sometimes or often we lose our focus, and we'll get someone to tell us, hey, there's this oil rig over here, and if we help support it, the money might come back to help us out later on, or whatever it is. Or you vote for my bill, and then I'll vote for your bill. And it sounds good on the surface, but are we letting our people down that voted for us?
I don't know, because I don't want to talk politics.
I'm not just talking leadership. Try to talk leadership.
Oh, the leadership.
Leadership, because we're talking about good advice and bad advice.
Yeah.
Obviously, someone told Kim Jong-il some good advice, I believe. Say, hey, you need to put down your nuclear weapons, agree with Trump and the rest of the world, and you'll be much safer, and you'll be able to sleep at night. So, provided someone gave him that advice, and he took it.
Oh, that's what he told Donald Trump or the world that...
Someone told the North Korean president.
That's what they said on the news.
No, I'm just saying someone gave him advice.
It's your opinion.
Yeah, someone gave him advice.
Okay, it's your opinion.
Someone gave. Someone always gives.
I thought you know that. I thought it's a fact.
Well, it might have been Dennis Rodman. Supposedly he was over there in Singapore working things behind the scenes. But the bottom line is somebody whispers in our ear all the time, and do we take that advice or do we do our own research? Because sometimes we just listen to the media and assume we know what the people want. We assume we know we're doing the right thing.
As a leader, I'm not actually taking sides. As a leader, on my opinion, only don't quote me on this, is I believe that he thought that nobody, I don't think so that he listened. Probably somebody gave him advice, but I don't think that he listened into anybody's advice. I think he did that in the good of his heart. Probably somebody somebody wake him up. I don't know, but it's probably being a leader is he made that decision according to the good of a lot of people. That's what I would say. I don't think it's an advice.
Well, that's a hard one. The Kim family, they've been the dictators for, I don't know, 100 years or so. And during that time, well, not quite 100 years, but their goal was to bring the two Korean countries together. That was their whole goal. Mm-hmm. And that Kim putting down his weapons like this, he's agreed to two separate countries, at least for now, and everybody feels safe. So he's not trying to start a war all the time.
Yeah. So I think if I'm, I probably wrong or not, but I would say I have a strong feeling that he actually world now. He probably think like, what is the best actually avenue to take.
I hope that's true. Hope whatever happened, I hope he's sincere and he follows through with that. And someone doesn't put bad advice in his ear and screw up everything. But hopefully it's true. Yeah. We do change our hearts sometimes, but when you make a decision and later on change it, that's hard because sometimes you're eating humble pie, even if you're right. No one wants to be wrong.
I hope it's not gonna be changed. I think because like what I was saying is he did it on his own initiative, not anybody telling him anything. So meaning because this is what happened if I am right that actually he did it on his initiative, he's not gonna ever change his mind. But if you are right that somebody give him advice, then he probably gonna change his mind. Does that make sense? Yeah,
don't know.
because his initiative. So I am actually praying and hopeful that this is actually on his own initiative, which is, I strongly believe it's his own.
Well, that's
initiative.
always better. If you believe deep down inside, it's a better way to go.
Yeah.
That's always the key.
And you
Doesn't
know what,
always
sir?
happen that way.
If you are listening, and if ever this actually video goes to you,
Sure.
is, you know what? I actually salute you on that. Good
Yeah,
job.
it's sad. He's done a lot of bad things in the past, so we can't forget it. But I don't want to mock him when he's doing something good now. We can never forget the past of any of our leaders or even ourselves. But hopefully we become better through good advice, recommendations, solutions on our own, where we can leave the past behind us. Sometimes you can. If you're murdering your own people or killing or destroying the natural resources.
We are not the judge. It's God's judge. So we have to forget of the bad things that actually he did in the past, because we are not the judge. We are not the judge. It's only God who can actually judge him on that. So what I would say is, I actually thank for what you actually initiated with our President Trump. So I would, whatever you did in the past it's only God.
That's true.
God's
We're all
judgment.
going to be judged one day. So,
Yes.
moving right along, we still have to pray for our leaders. Some we may think are doing stupid decisions. Some we may think are the greatest since sliced bread. But regardless, we have to pray they make the right decisions and use God's advice and the wisdom and grow and learn. And hopefully they're all doing well, but they need our help. No leader, no mayor, no anyone leading any corporation can do it on their own. They all need our help. So let's continue to pray.
Of course. Yes,
All
of
right.
course. But you know what?
Yeah.
This is a really good episode talking about advices.
Sure.
And we actually bring out this episode because of the good advices that actually I just seen something that actually distract me, but I'm not distracted now. I'm focused. And I was going to talk about it, but I'm not going to point it out.
Okay.
Yeah, and anyways, about the advices, we actually came up into this one because of the advices that we receive from, from people that we love.
Absolutely. Our friends and family give us advices all the time. And some of it's good, some of it's bad, some of it's unsolicited, like we talked about earlier.
Or somebody, or something, constructive criticism criticism.
Sometimes it's gossip. They're gossiping about someone else, and they're thinking,
I
but
love
gossip is giving you good advice.
Yeah,
Don't be like your sister Susie. She always does this. Is that really good advice, or is that gossip?
That's gossip.
Yeah. So sometimes we think we're giving advice, and it's really not coming that way.
What I would say is, when you're giving advice, good or bad, unsolicited or not, make sure you think it over and over again before you say it. So because even though how good the advice that you're giving is probably bad on the other person, or unsolicited advice that probably it affect this other person. So make sure you think about it. Is it actually the good of this person and for me? Because like what I was talking about earlier, the advice that I gave to this husband and wife, it bite me in the ass, but I already know that it's gonna happen. See, I already project the future, what's gonna happen after my advice. So I did it in purpose, and I am not actually, I don't regret it. Let me put it that way. However, it could have actually relayed in a better way so that I didn't burn bridges.
Sure, that's a good point. Anytime we say anything to someone, we need to be ready for our words. Our words can hurt.
Yep.
And we need to be ready for maybe a repercussion or someone attacking us back. Even if we mean to attack them or not, we're so defensive all the time in our communication. We don't even want to hear the message. Once they say, you never, and we're just going to be defensive right away. So let's be careful in the way we talk to one another. It should be kind.
Yeah.
It should be stern, confident, but kind.
When people are pointing fingers at you, point a finger backwards by saying, what can we do better?
So you're saying you point one finger out, 3 go to you, or 4 go to you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, what I'm
common.
trying to say is, because we're gonna hear a lot of complaints. What you're saying, earlier, that they're pointing fingers on you. You did this, you did that. Well, instead of taking that offensively or defensively, put it in a way like, hey, so what do you want to do? Well, how can we do it?
Have a
better?
solution, right?
Have a solution.
Don't
yes.
come with a problem without a solution.
Mm-hmm.
Or even if I'm saying I think you're rotten, I used to come back with me and say, I hear you say you think I'm rotten. What do you mean by that? Oh, I didn't mean you're rotten. You're like this. So ask for clarification. So
yes, clarification
you don't,
is good.
Don't get offended right away.
Yes, you can ask what do you mean by that? Can you please elaborate? Because sometimes, especially words can be misconstrued all the time.
All the time.
So I love to ask questions when they're trying to offend me. They probably think I'm stupid, but I'm not. I'm just trying to actually get into deep what he feels about what he's saying. What is the main point of what they are, what he's trying to actually relate to me.
Sure. So what are you trying to say?
What I'm trying to say is we're going to be actually ending up this episode and next week we're going to be right back in the future.
We'll be back.
Before we go.
Yeah. You'll see me happy birthday. She's a great singer, karaoke champion in these parts of the world, as a matter of fact. I'm waiting for that, her to show or tell us to the rest of us.
But anyways, last week I would like to thank Jim Presley.
Jim Presley, yes. He brought in a great team.
JC.
Daryl. We had Steve with his music. This is something. Steve is in his 70s, and he was writing jingles and music and writing things for most of his life.
He wrote a song.
For the Golden Knights here, he got a song out for them, and that's going to be aired here real shortly since they're doing so well. But the point is, he didn't do a lot with his music most of his life. Not till the last 4 or 5 years when he met someone he collaborated with, and things are going really good right now. Talk about James.
Yeah, well,
because
Mr.
you bring people in your life, and it could change your whole outlook. I'm
it
is. Maybe I can do this,
Uh-huh.
or don't let the past dictate your future.
No. Don't.
That's good advice right there.
Yeah, that's a good advice. And the good advice too is collaborate with JC and Daryl. That's a good advice too.
There you go. We're meeting more and more people at our shows, and feel free to come join us. So if you have a message you want to share, if you want to start your own show, or maybe make us a meal, we'd appreciate that also.
Oh yeah, I like meals.
We like to eat this little.
Remember last week I showed you what's my breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's the chocolate Snickers.
I see a big bowl of empty wrappers still on your table over here.
Oh, that's my breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Okay.
And I'm glad. Yesterday I had Filipino.
Yes.
Today I have pizza.
There you go.
And then the other day I cooked something.
Wow. There you go.
But it's still, it's not as good as when somebody else cooks.
That's true. So try your skills out here. We'd love to have you. Definitely contact us through our social media shows .us, our network, and find out more and more about us and what we can do to help you. Subscribe on our YouTube. Like our Facebook page. Share with the world. And more importantly, let us know what you're learning.
Yes, and also we would like to actually know what do you think our program. Please go and give us a review. And if you have any idea what you want us to talk about, please send us a message, because you know what, Joe and I actually work like a time machine every single day, and we come up with different subject that we're gonna talk about few minutes before we start the show. That's why we don't have any paper to hold.
No. And sometimes we're a big hit, and sometimes we fall short. So help us out.
Yes.
Help us out.
Yes, your comments is very important to us.
Well, there you have it, folks. We appreciate your viewership as you've been supporting us the last several months and years, and we know you continue to do so. And please share with your friends and family. And like we said, come out, reach out to us, let us know how we can better serve you. Have a great day. This is Maria.
And this is Joe. Do you,
All
like,
right.
do you like my thing?
Oh, whatever. Have fun, guys.
It's
Bye-bye.
beautiful.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah, can you get me
Okay, that's enough of that, dear.